Is this streaming from the main channel?
Could be.
Oh.
Yeah, I got 2.7 seconds delay on my side for the stream. Oh shit, hey, what up? Alright, hey, what up guys? It is Crater versus Lyra today. We are joined with Litzy here. And we should be getting in the game very shortly. So, what's up, Litzy?
Nothing much. I got a little bit of a new setup, so that's nice. But yeah, this should be a pretty interesting game that we're seeing here today. I know that you guys, the Crater and Lyra, pretty middle of the pack, but this will be fun to watch. Also, today is the day we have those new reworked champions, Kale and Morgana. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I quickly looked through the patch notes, but just, I don't know if you have, but could you fill me in what's new and what's we should expect from this patch update?
Well, one of the main things is the new Kale. She essentially evolves as the game goes on and gets different abilities through as she levels up. For instance, after passing, I believe it's level 11, becomes a ranged hero. And, you know, that alone is pretty interesting. And basically what it does is it really puts a cap on the game if you have a Kale on your team, because you can't really, once that Kale is leveled up, it's very difficult to kill her.
Alright, sounds pretty neat, but just to point out, Kale can't be played in the split just yet. I'm jumping into picks and bans. Journal Mia Cled banned out from SRG Crater, and Lysandra banned coming from Team Lyra. So what kind of bans do you expect to right now with this patch 9.5? Is there anything major?
Probably nothing too crazy. I wouldn't expect to see Akali get picked, since it was just nerfed not too long, or rather, sort of. It was a little bit of a balance there. It was actually buffed a little bit, so we could be seeing an Akali ban. It's the same ADCs. The crit ADCs are really good right now, so probably might see Ezreal. And there we just saw Lucian, who has a really good early game right now. That's probably what we're going to be seeing here.
Okay, well, as we make through, we get the Sejuani ban coming from Lyra. Let's see what Crater is going to pick up first here.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to get one of their good ADCs out of the way right now. It looks like instead they're going to be picking up Olaf, which is pretty. I know that the jungler for Crater plays quite a bit of Olaf. It's one of their go-to picks. So it should be pretty interesting. Olaf is a really great duelist inside of the jungle, especially once he gets ult. Okay. And Lyra is going to pick up Xin Zhao and Ezreal.
So right now, is there any like major counter picks you should be picking here, or is it just normal picks going on?
I'd keep it on normal. Crater throwing a little bit of a curveball with the Olaf, and Lyra, now that they've picked up Xin Zhao, you definitely want to have a mid laner and top laner that will greatly benefit from early game ganks. Someone who can just really pop off in that mid lane once they get fed. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe an AP assassin in the mid lane from Lyra because of that Xin Zhao.
Okay, yeah, so we got the Alistar picked from Crater 2. All around good champ. Lots of CC here. We got the Urgot pick possibly coming through now.
So the Urgot is pretty standard. Has been good for a while now. We've been seeing Urgot in a lot of games because he does very well in lane, for one. Has pretty good wave clear with the shotgun legs, and the main thing is that ultimate, the Fear Beyond Death, does a great job of picking off people in teamfights and also doing a great job of turning teamfights around because of the AoE fear that does come through it if it is landed successfully. And Scion being picked up by Lyra. Sion's also been pretty good, but will be a little bit of a tough play against Urgot, but for the most part should be alright.
Okay, yes, definitely. Now, just quickly taking a look at a couple of Urgot power spikes. He has a massive 1v1 potential up in this top lane, as he can pretty much almost guarantee a kill at level 6 if the laner extends a fight for longer than they should. So, some insightful knowledge there.
So with Veigar being banned by Crater, they're, wanting to try and get rid of a lot of AP damage, but Lyra banning away Malzahar and Vladimir, these are both very good characters to play against Assassins. So that is sort of supporting my idea that Lyra is going to be having an AP Assassin inside of that middle lane, because, Malzahar does a great job of shutting people down, and Vladimir can escape by going into his pool.
Okay, so let's see what they end up picking up here. Right now, hey, my bad. But right now, how does what do you think? Who's going early game? Who's going late game? What kind of comps have we got so far?
For the Lyra is looking for more of that mid game. They're wanting to end it right at about 30 minutes, whereas Crater has a little bit of a longer game with the Urgot and the Olaf. But for the most part, both teams are sitting at right about 30 minutes for their end time. So this is pretty interesting. Lyra has picked up Gragas. I assume that is going to be a Gragas mid, which is an AP hero, so I was right about that. But is it really an assassin? Can be played like one. It's a little bit more of a brawler. Can be built as a tank. So that is pretty interesting. So Crater is going to be picking up. They have picked up the Zillion to go into their mid lane, which is something we don't get to see very often. And Vayne, the hyper carry, is going to be going into the bot lane.
Yeah, I'm quite liking that Zillion pick. For me, I'm not the best player, but I kind of like Crater's team comp a little bit more here. What are your views?
I think that Crater does have a little bit of a stronger team comp, especially because of that Alistar and the Urgot and that Vayne. Once they get that Vayne a couple of items, they'll be able to do very well. I think that Lyra does have a lot of capability, though. With that Cassiopeia, that means that it's probably actually going to be Gragas support. It could be Cassiopeia support, but I think it's probably going to be Gragas going down there, which could be pretty interesting.
Okay. Yeah, Gragas support, he can have a lot of burst damage coming out the door. Paired with Ezreal, that should be a pretty good matchup in the bot lane going against Alistar and Vayne.
The main thing is being able to deal with the amount of CC that comes from Alistar. One way I've seen people do it is run a Poppy, because you can block the knock-up, or the headbutt rather. And it's a little bit of a difficult one because you have to be really on top of your W being able to time that properly, so it's a little bit of a risky one. Gragas, just having all of that health, should do a pretty good job of surviving and then being able to dash away from a fight.
Okay, so just pulling up a couple of picks, bans, stats. So far, Gragas has been picked 6 times, and out of them, 6 has won 3, so he's sitting on a nice 50% win rate there. Is there anything that catches your eye here in terms of this?
Well, it's pretty interesting the amount of flex picks from Lyra. We don't really know where 3 of the champions are going. We're pretty certain that Ezreal's going to be in the bot lane. We're pretty certain that Sion's going to be in the top lane, but the rest of, Cassiopeia could be either mid or bot, and Gragas could be either mid or jungle. It's fairly certain that Xin Zhao is going to be jungle, but they could be trying to pull something pretty different here.
Okay, we're just making our way through the client right now, getting them locked to picks. We should be able to discuss some spells coming in very shortly. Is this a game where some spells will be quite a interesting look at?
Well, I'll be interested to see what the bot lane brings, mostly. I think top lane, both of these champions are going to be wanting to bring teleport, pretty sure. And mid is usually ignite. But this bot lane, it could be interesting whether to go heal Ignite or to heal an Exhaust. Exhaust isn't quite as good as it used to be. So we're going to have to wait and see on that one. And, you know, we're just going to go back and forth on that until we see it. Basically, what that will tell us is whether or not a bot lane wants to be aggressive.
Alright, okay. As soon as we get in the game, don't worry, I'll be talking a whole lot more. It's just I don't have too much to offer when it comes to this part of it because, hey, I'm play-by-play. Not too good at looking into stuff like this. But still, we'll
More
be
of
getting
an action kind of guy.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'll be able to tell you what's going on in the field, but right now, we know what's being picked. We've managed to discuss a couple of key points here. Let's wait until we get into game right now.
So we will be getting into that pretty soon here, and we'll get to see what the summoner spells are going to be. Where are these people actually going is one of the big things too that we've been talking about. Don't really know until we get into the game.
Yeah, definitely. And now, if we take a quick look at the stream, we have our current points. And we got Lyra sitting at 21 right now, Creator on 15. So with a win on Creator, that should make the match rock solid. Esports. So, do they have a game? Because if Creator goes 2-0 here, they'll both be on 18.
Yeah, and that would be very good for them. It puts them a little bit closer to contention in for the finals of Division 2, which could be interesting. But and Lyra wants to secure their spot. They definitely want to get as many points as they can. And obviously they're not going to lose points, but they want to make sure that gap between them and the third place stays as far apart as possible.
Yeah, definitely. Now, however, just a little bit more knowledge. It looks like Ross Clyde Esports, they won the head-to-head match, meaning if Creator does win this, they'll actually finish 4th, even if they are both on 18 points.
Well, even so, Lyra just wants to try and keep it's even, if anything, just good for morale, just knowing that you're pretty far ahead. And Lyra, you know, obviously everyone wants to get into Division 1. And also, apparently the top laner on Kylie is the coach for Creator, so they want to make sure that they can win this out.
Okay, sounds good. Now we can discuss the spells. So is it what we expected? We got Ignites in bot lane. Ezreal with a TP, however. You'll be able to get around the map with that.
That's pretty interesting. And also what that allows is a very early buy. As soon as you get enough items for your first sort of sub item, then you can just instantly go back, buy it, get back to the lane without any sort of delay, and then you're ahead on the enemy ADC with that extra item, so you have more damage or less cooldowns or whatever.
Okay, sounds good. Zillion opted in for the cleanse here against Cassiopeia. She does have that ult, which of course turns you to stone. So does cleanse actually stop the ult? I'm pretty sure it does, right?
Yeah, cleanse will get you out of that. And also, any other sort of CC that you have to deal with. And, there is quite a bit of it in this game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that play a pretty big role here.
Yeah, so I don't know if you fully know this, but what is Zillion's cooldown on his ult at level 3? Roughly.
I'm not entirely sure. But You said at level 3 of his ultimate. I mean, obviously he doesn't have it at level 3, but it is not much. He can get it, especially if he builds a little bit of CD with your runes and things like that. You can get it pretty close to about 60 seconds, I believe. So you can have it at almost every fight.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Chrono Shift, 60-second cooldown without CDR on that.
That obviously is very, very good. And once you do get a little bit of CR, obviously you can have that every fight, and even more often. And so the main thing being able to deal with a Zillion is making sure that you're able to be on top of that ultimate. When you see someone get ulted, wait for it to go through, and then kill them afterwards, because once it is, worn off, then you can kill them normally.
Yeah, definitely, and that effect lasts for 5 seconds, so, hey, if you see Zilean pop that ult, wait 5 seconds, then attack. Meanwhile, we're about to load in game. There's 10 seconds left in the spectator delay, then we just gotta wait roughly around a minute for the game to load in, and then, hey, we're in game, we gotta see the action.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how all of this turns out. I mean, obviously, this should be a pretty interesting game. Lyra, they have a little bit of advantage here. They're, if we go by scores, they're a little bit of a better team, but they are pretty close as far as just SR goes. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see this be a pretty close game. I wouldn't be surprised to see this get taken to a game 3. But, we're going to have to see. You can't really know until you get into the game, which we will be doing very soon.
But right now, we actually get to see the runes. Does anything stand out on the rune side of things here?
Well, one thing is that Styx is bringing the Unsealed Spellbook into the top lane, which, is something that we see fairly often on Urgot, but it's still a little bit weird. We just don't get to see it very often on other heroes. And then everything else is pretty simple. You have Lodberg with the Kleptomancy on Ezreal, being able to maybe skimp a little bit on the CS in order to get better, so that you can trade a little bit more and still have gold. Afterwards, you get rewarded for poking the enemy ADC, versus if you don't have Kleptomancy, you kind of get punished for it, because when you're poking, you're not CSing. Other than that, nothing too odd in this setup.
Okay, that should be good, and stream should be loading the game in less than 10 seconds, maybe 5, maybe now, who knows. But still, I'm in the game, and let's see how they want to play this. Do you think they have any opportunity to go for some early plays here? They do have this Ali star, but they don't have anyone that's going to grab anyone in this game. Do you think they should just play it out, wait until we get a lane phase? Actually, yeah, that's what it looks like they're going for.
Yeah, nothing too crazy at the beginning. Both teams just kind of spreading out, just watching the rivers. It would be what I expect coming out of this, and that does seem to be what is happening right now. So nothing is going to happen quite yet. Most of these champions have that more mid to late game potential, and so won't really be doing a whole lot of early game things. If you had, someone who could hook like a Blitzcrank or something like that, then you may be seeing that, but as of now, there just isn't really enough damage from anybody to justify trying to get an invade. The only one who could really deal a fair amount of damage would be Falcon, and also Champion of Ash could do some decent damage, but other than that, it'd be pretty shaky.
Okay, good there. Looks like Olaf will be starting blue right here. And actually, it looks like Alistar is going to go to that Pixel Bush, ward it out. However, that was going to be instantly taken out by Gragas and Ezreal. Xin Zhao will be starting blue side as well. Nothing too out of the ordinary with that. As we go into mid lane, we're just getting some average CS going down now.
Champion of Ash was able to get an early bomb off to Killcore when Killcore tried to ward the bush and river, and manages to land a pretty good stick there. Landing those skill shots is pretty important. It's not a very easy skill shot to land, and once you start getting some items, it can do quite a bit of damage, especially if other people have not built magic defense. You can really do a lot of damage to an enemy team.
Okay, true, and Xin Zhao going for this bot lane scuttle. Olaf taking out the doggies there. Zilean still land these Qs onto Cassiopeia here.
That is doing good work. So far, hasn't managed to force Killcore to burn any of the potions.
Xin Zhao is so close. He's invading this jungle. Let's see how Olaf wants to deal with this. I don't know if he knows he's there just right yet. But he's going to take this red pretty quick. That should give him a HP advantage over the Xin Zhao if they do go into a quick skirmish here. However, it doesn't look like that's going to be. However, Xin Zhao is making his way mid lane. Don't know if this is going to be a friendly pass, but no, he's going to engage onto this Zilean, doing some insane damage onto this Zilean. Zilean going to go low. He should be able to heal up. He busts that pot. He should heal and stay into lane. Urgot gonna ward out that river bush. So watch out for Xin Zhao as he's getting this top side scuttle. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, a couple of poke coming in from red side. PS right now is roughly the same. Pretty similar. Xin Zhao has now got that top lane scuttle. Mid lane, Zilean managed to get some of that HP back from the early fight there. Top lane's quite pushed in from this Urgot. And it looks like Olaf's going in for an engage on Cassiopeia. Lands the axe. Zilean gets the slow there. Drops a couple of bombs, misses the stun. Just going to get her down to half HP.
So that did a pretty good job of returning what happened to Champion Vash there, who was brought pretty low and therefore had to burn his healing item, obviously the pot. Putting him a little bit behind, it made it had to be a little bit more cautious. But now that these two players are pretty close now in terms of health.
Xin Zhao is coming into this top lane. He was part of the bush, but didn't let Urgot get out in time. Urgot's going really low, and he should be able to get taken down. He gets knocked up. After that, flash and taken down. Let's Sion with the first kill.
You know, that flash there was a little bit risky. At the point where you know you're going to die, you really want to just not flash, because that will, if you're going to die, you're going to die, and whether you flash or not oftentimes doesn't help you. And if that's the case, then all you're doing is making sure that you don't have flash later on in the game. So I would have liked to see Strix have a little bit of foresight there and be able to realize that, but in the heat of the moment, it's a sort of gut reaction to go for the flash. So it is what it is, and you're just going to have to deal with those consequences.
Yeah, instincts to get out there. Also, TP burnt by Urgot to get back in lane. That leaves blue side TP-less with red side actually having 2 TP. So let's see if they can try to play that to their advantage.
Considering how the dragon is now up, and it is a mountain drag, which is a very good one to get in the early game, I wouldn't be surprised to see that TP from Molar be able to be used properly there. If they do decide to go for that, if Crater decides to try and get that, you know, early drag, could be very, very good for them, because they have a Scion there who can help.
Yeah, definitely. Now, just a quick little insight, but apparently Double Lift says Mountain Drake is the best one, and compared to other ones, they're basically nearly just stat buffs. Because when you have 3 Mountain Drakes, it makes nearly every objective on the map just literally like paper and out. Meanwhile, top lane, Xin Zhao coming in onto this Urgot again. I think he is not going to get out here. However, DM, hey, hold up. Olaf's coming in to save the day, and they're just going to have to back out.
Yeah, Strix is a pretty low there. It would be very risky to try and engage on top of 2 enemies there. Jester hasn't quite given up, and since there was a back from Craner, there is a little bit of advantage, but it looks like they're just going to stick to farming, which I think is a good choice. Yeah,
definitely that Urgot's looking a little low right now. Moel is going to take out the blue control ward right there. Bot lane, it looks like blue side's starting to push this up a little. Red's just letting them. Well, get that.
Yeah, nothing too crazy happening right now. I think that Crater, they're looking a little bit rough. Lyra is looking a little bit better. They obviously do have that first kill, and they're a little bit less than 1,000 gold ahead at this point. They're about 900 gold ahead, which, you know, isn't a lot, but it is something. It gets you a little bit towards your items, and overall, it looks like now we're getting a gank down to the bot lane.
There's not too much going on. However, top lane Stein ult gets in onto this Urgot. Urgot is super duper low, and he's going to get taken down by Moella, making Moella 2-0 already. So top lane making some early game plays and getting the advantage now. Meanwhile, into this bot lane, looks like Xin Zhao's making his way down here. Won't get spotted out by any wards right now, so he's free to roam. Cassiopeia, looking around. There is a control ward into that pixel bush, though, so that will spot her out. Drake, on the meanwhile, is getting started by Xin Zhao. That forces Zilean to come down here. Is going to get spotted because they have a control ward in that bush. He does not know about that. Yeah, they're going to back off from this drag as blue team gets the vision on it. They know it started. I start hovering around. However, red team have got some good vision right now. They know what's going on. And TP coming in from Ezreal to go into this bot lane. Drake going low, 1.5k. Olaf here as well. He's trying to go for the steal. He's got the speed boost. And it looks like Xin Zhao's going to take this Drake. Fight goes breaks out right now. Alistar trying to get out of here right now. Flashes out of the hammer. Ezreal getting some poke on this Alistar. However, Ali will be able to get out of this. And that slows down the fight. Meanwhile, that allows Urgot to try and get some peace in the top lane and make some progress right now. Olaf is getting the rocks. And that allows Xin Zhao just to pick up his red for now. Mid lane, starting to get pushed in here. Looks like Zillion's pretty low right now. He won't be able to do too much except chill in his turret for now. How do we just get the stun onto this Cassiopeia?
I was a little bit concerned for Strix there, or Styx rather. You know, was pushing up under the tower. I was afraid that he was going to stay and try and deal some damage to it, and ended up getting caught out by Muller. But good call to back, and a very good dragon take from Lyra there, having good focus, making sure that they won that smite battle. Overall, a good job for them, and now they have that little bit of extra damage on objectives, and once the Baron comes up, a little bit of extra damage on that, and once you get 2 Mountain Drakes, that's an extra 20% damage to the Baron, and we know how valuable that is to fights in this in this league. Oftentimes it's whichever team gets the Baron first wins.
Yeah, definitely. So just a quick recap of where we're at. It's currently 2-0 in favor of red side. We had 2 early ganks up in this top lane, allowing to get this Sion 2-0. And right now, CS differences mid. Cassiopeia is starting to get a slight edge. However, Zealand's return to lane early. She'll be able to catch up there. Jungle difference right now. Jester level 6. Karina level 7. See that develops. And right now, Grags is basically just looking around this river to see if there's anything going on right now. Gonna ward out this. However, I don't think that actually saw Jester. However, meanwhile, the top lane Science ulted in onto Urgot, but nothing breaks out there. Meanwhile, most of the teams in blue side is around this bot side river. Olaf gonna take down the Skull Crab. Bot lane actually looks like Vane's gonna get some early damage onto that Ezreal. Xin Zhao is looking mid for a gank right now. He's in their jungle. Let's see what he does. He's trying to get some vision in there. Bot lane, they're quite pushed up now. However, in the mid lane, a fight breaks out. Looks like Zillion's taken low. He has got the ult to resurrect. However, is it going to be enough? It may not be. He gets the stun and gets out alive. However, Olaf's life gets taken for that. Bot lane, yeah. Alistar, Nelly. He might get caught out. Actually, here, Ezreal's ult comes in and actually picks up the kill there. Tree Shot Barrage takes that.
Yep. I mean, you had to have your bushes warded, obviously. And if you don't, it could end up really biting you. They figured that they would be able to roam into that bush and get into the river. Maybe they were wanting to get some vision onto the Rift Herald. But, with Lyra lying in wait, they were able to get a good kill off onto Jester. And just that little bit of teamwork, that good call to stay inside of the bush and wait until the last moment where they could see the whites of their eyes, able to get a good kill out of it.
Right now, Science really pushed under that turret. He's practically allowed to bully this Urgot, taking him really low. He tried to see if he could get another hit on that, but the turret is going to focus on him. I mean, he needs to get out of that and push the wave back in. Meanwhile, mid lane, Zillion still trying to poke down this Cassiopeia. Getting some good damage there. Olaf coming in too. Let's see what he can do. It is not warded. However, Cassiopeia is going to slither back on there. And Xin Zhao making his way over to the top lane here. However, this allows Sion to get a bit more damage onto this top lane turret. Meanwhile, bot lane, it looks like Dane's going to get caught out here. Easy catch out. He's a little too far deep in that wave.
And obviously Magic did a great job of putting the enemy ADC Falcon into a bad position. One of the reasons that Alistar wasn't there. So we have to go into a pause. Looks like some people are lagging. And so we just have to make sure that they don't disconnect. And we're going to be getting them back pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely stay the game currently. It looks like red team is roughly 4k up in gold. However, that is mostly on the top lane and also on the Ezreal too. Ezreal currently 1.5k up over Vayne. We just seen him get that pick onto Vayne, who was a little too far up there. I don't know if that had anything to do with this, but it looks like lag's coming in from red side here. Should be able to catch up on that shortly. Meanwhile, looks like Moella in this top lane is starting to push in onto that turret. It's only got 2 platings left, I believe. Just looking around the map right now. Not too much else going on. Vision, it looks like... Actually, this blue side has got a lot of vision in this bot side here. They got a control in the Pixel Brush bot side. They have got the red side bot side Oh, hold up. The red side bot side jungle is also pretty warded there. So they got some good vision bot side. Meanwhile, red is quite the opposite. They've got that top side covered with 2 control wards. So far, vision is looking good from both teams. Actually, hold on. I just zoomed out right now to here. But anyway, DMA. Enough of that. We're actually back into the game now. Jumping straight over to this top side. Didn't see too much go on there. However, the turret is starting to get pretty low now. Bot lane, Alistar might get picked out here. He's going real low. However, this Ezreal does have a 3-shot barrage up. However, he's not low enough for him to use that just yet. Olaf knows about Xin Zhao here. They're fighting over this Rift Herald? Yeah, Rift Herald. However, that's just going to regen up, go back to its space. Cloud Drake's currently up and being started by red team here. Hey, Ali, he's off the map. It's my bad on that, but looks like Ezreal managed to pick that kill up. And yeah, with that true shot barrage, like I mentioned before, he must have got him low enough there. Red's invading blue side jungle once again. He's going to be taking up this red buff again for Xin Zhao. Meanwhile, that allows blue team to pick up this Rift Herald, hopefully. They should be able to easily get this out. And Vayne... They're actually going to close in onto this Vayne. We got Xin Zhao, we got Grags, we got Ezreal. They are in the bot lane. That tower is low. They should be able to close down onto him. Meanwhile, blue side did try to get that team up from there onto that Sion, but nothing much there. However, he is now backed up by this Ali. So it's Vayne, Ali against Grags, Ezreal, and Xin Zhao. Now, they're going to get this dive because this turret is gone. It has no HP. It's going to be... Hey, turret's gone. Alistar gets that knocker, but it might not just be enough. 2-shot barrage coming in from Ezreal, getting onto that Vayne. Alistar left alone, no damage, all on cooldowns, no CC. He's going to be taken down too. Coming back over now to mid lane. We got some average just CS, and that's the end of the action right there. Olaf coming back into his jungle, but hey, there's nothing there. Red team has cleared that out. Now... Grags, he might actually get this. His flash is up. He might be able to get this all off. However, DM, Zillion's there, backing him up. Ezreal, Cassiopeia, they are also joined alongside, but they're going to back off now. Zhao also here. The whole party's coming in on this blue side bot lane jungle.
The really good patience from Craner in that earlier fight, staying inside of that bush right near Krugs, until that tower was, shooting at something else and was obviously very, very low, and that demolish proc was up, and so he knew it could be taken out very quickly. If Crater had gone in on top of Rasmussen while Rasmussen was going up to the tower, could have been headbutted under the tower and then killed. So just very good patience, very good self-control coming out from the jungler there.
Yeah, definitely. You see some great plays from SRG Lyra now. Blue side, they gotta respond. They are 0-9, 8k gold deficit, but is it possible they come back? We did mention earlier in this champ select phase that they do have the late game team a little bit over red side. So let's see if they get to that point, they come out and show themselves. How do you think that's gonna play out?
Could be good. Olaf is now sitting on the Herald, so if Lyra does get a little bit too happy on one tower, they can use that to force them off.
Going on this mid lane, sorry just to cut you off there. However, Alistar gets the knock up onto Grags. Grags is just going to get out of here. He's got the speed. Ezreal's got his E2. However, hold on. Grags managed to knock the Alistar into the turret, get him real low. Ezreal's 2-shot barrage is not going to do enough damage onto that Alistar. He's very low, won't be able to do too much right now, and it looks like Olaf is popping this Rift Herald up into this mid lane. Vayne going low. Very low, actually. Xin Zhao is starting to make his way this mid lane. The Repelled will get its first hit onto this mid turret. Won't definitely be enough not to take that. Meanwhile, actually, hold on. With the whole blue side being mid right now, they gotta respond. They gotta sign in the bot lane. Cassiopeia also pushing that top. However, they're gonna respond to that. Alistar going into this bot lane, also followed by Urgot. Alistar's pretty low, however, he's got all his CC, so won't be able to take any damage from here. Mid lane, Olaf not going to be able to defend this turret as it's a 3v1. Top lane, Zillion's going to answer that Cassiopeia. Bot lane, Alistar, and now CC up. Urgot going in onto this Sion. Sion ults now. However, he won't be able to do much. This Olaf's real low. Ezreal ult's coming right up now. He might try and go get this pick. Actually, the whole red team's here. That might get a double. Actually, DM, hold on. Hey. MB, this Olaf is still low, though. He won't be able to keep this turret up by himself, so he's joined by Zillion. Meanwhile, bot lane, Urgot starting to get closed in on by Grax, Cassiopeia, and the Sion. He's going to be going down there. Now, they got this turret to get 3. They're going to go real low from this turret. Hold on. They're engaged insane. However, hey, we got this Sion to help them out there. Ezreal low, and Olaf is trying to come over to defend.
Might be able to do some stuff here if he gets some good shots off, but it's going to be pretty risky.
Hey, hold on. They're going in. Looks like this might actually they try to get the pick out on Cassiopeia, and they do get that. That is pretty big because they managed to get a 650 gold bounty from that. However, it did cost them 2 lives, so it's not okay. And especially at this point in the game, when they're pushing all these turrets, they need as much members as alive, because we've seen just earlier that split push. They managed to send 3 mid, 1 top, 1 bot, and blue team needs the whole team to answer just that 5v3.
Yeah, while all of Lyra, or rather when all of Crater was just bunched up in the middle lane trying to do some work there, and they ended up dropping the Scuttler, there were 2 people. There was Molar down in the bot lane and Killcore up in the top lane, and they ended up pushing for it and dealing quite a bit of damage, obviously, to the bottom tower, managing to take it out, and this top tower is now sitting at about 3/4 health. So considering that, that is definitely a very good sign for Lyra here. And with them getting the second Cloud Drake, continues that lead.
Definitely. Now, hey, Ali, okay, DM. I was going to say, hey, Ali, steal it, go, dude! But, hey, no, he can't do much with that, as Zinzao's going to take that Cloud Drake, and it's only Cloud Drake, so it's not really too worth.
That does give them a little bit of extra roaming potential here, and if they use that properly, could be a pretty good boon, but, you know, they have to use it properly, like I said. And, you know, will they be moving as a team? Looks like for now they're doing a pretty good job of sticking close to each other. And Magic managing to, or not Magic rather, Jester managing to back just out of sight.
Hold on, Rasmussen is in this jungle, joined by another 3 red members. However, he's got that turret to defend him right now. Zinzao is looking around. They're waiting for this. We got Grags and Zinzao in the bush. Alistar and Vayne. However, Grags is going to come out of that bush with Zinzao. It's going to engage onto Olaf. They got Cassiopeia in the back line. Redemption comes down to try and help out blue side. They're trying to keep them alive right now, but it's not going to be enough. And Urgot's going to be taken down by the Cassiopeia. And now red side is going to go to this Baron right now and 3v1 the Baron.
Which they should be able to do fairly easily, especially since they have that Mountain Drake, and they have Killcore there able to deal quite a bit of damage. It's going to be up to these 2 in the mid lane to be able to defend it.
Yeah, they're going to easily get this Baron, and they do. That's going to allow the mid just to push even more. They should be able to pick up this turret, maybe? Yeah, definitely. They got the Baron. Empowered minions, and that's enough to take that. Meanwhile, Zillion zooming on in there, trying to drop this stun onto this Sion, but hey, they're gone.
Probably wasn't going to be able to do much anyway, even if they had managed to land it, especially because the Unstoppable Onslaught is up, and so Molar could have just boosted away from a fight if they had to.
Now, yes, this Gragas is on 9 assists. He's been helping out players through all over the map right now. So, right now, what is your best play if you're blue side? I know it's a little tricky question to ask, but there is still some way, I hope, that they can get back into this. There's always a way.
The main thing is making sure to hold off these minions, keep their inhibitors, and hopefully their inhibitor turrets alive by the time it wears off. And if they do manage to do that, you just want to stay back. You want to make sure you're not going to be feeding any more kills. You win one good team fight, and you're able to take the Baron off of that. That could be enough. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty rough.
Yeah, okay. Hey, what I want to happen now, we got some insane flash play coming in from this alley start. Knocks up the whole squad. And hey, they get an ace. But still, let's see if my dream idea plays out. Meanwhile, we got this Sion heading up onto this top lane. Champion Rash isn't not going to be able to do too much there. He's going to have to fall back because that mid is under attack. And hey, so is the bot. They should be able to pick up this mid inhibitor. Zillion going low, not going to be able to do much. He's got his ult up still, so we got 2 lives for blue side potentially here. However, that base is starting to get hammered right now. We got Cassiopeia on the bot lane taking that turret out, and 4 members taking out the top side. So right now, what do you focus? Do you get this pick on the Cassiopeia and deal with top? Because that looks like what they're doing. Hey, we got the flash from Alistar onto this Cassiopeia, and they're gonna get this pick hopefully. Hey, here's the turnaround. We got Urgot using his ult to secure that kill on to kill core. Now, actually, red team's hammering their base, but blue is in the back line. Let's see if they're going to do something here. Hold on. Red's got way too much damage, and yeah, hey. Too bad. The Alistar play hyped me up, but they just can't answer back with all of Lyra's members in the base right now. And it looks like this inhibitor is going to go down. And that will make it on Lyra. GG. GG WP.
Yep, a pretty confident game there. They didn't lose a single tower in that whole fight. And yeah, Killcore was doing a fair amount of work, but wasn't really the focus of the team. You definitely need to focus down that Ezreal Lodberg. And I'd say Molar, once they are down, you know, at that point, Craner is going to be scaling off a little bit. At, 23 minutes, won't be doing as much damage. I think a lot of the damage was coming out from Lodberg. And because they had that Mountain Drake and the Baron buff, they were able to just take out those towers incredibly quickly. And so they did.
So right now, what do you think that was more of a comp problem or a just execution problem? What do you think here?
I do not think it was a comp problem. I think that in the end, they just ended up losing lanes, and none of the people who needed to get ahead on the side of Lyra was really able, on the side of Crater rather, was really able to do that, because I mean, you have to get your Ezreal up and going. You have to get them fed, otherwise they're going to have a really difficult time, and that ended up being what happened there.
Yeah, chat. Hey, 0-1 Crater. They pulled it back, dude. The end game screen didn't mean anything. They had another inhibitor and they won the game. But anyway, still, it's 1-0 Lyra. Just a quick couple of updates going around the field for Serenity Gaming. We got ELF T2 versus KMG All Stars. It looks like ELF T2 got the win for that. SRG Ares versus Roxelle Esports. 1-0 currently to Ares. So going into this other game, hey, if I wanted a real good game, like, for me to watch, personally, I want a Nasus top, Vigar mid, our support, and a Draven bot lane. They are my 3 favorite champs that I would like to see, but I probably won't.
You want stacks, is what you're saying.
Slide DM. Yeah, I love my stacks, dude. If they play stacked, because it's so fun, stacked champions, dude. Because in the back of my mind, if I've got a Nasus top and a Vigar, or I'm Draven or whatever, if I've got them 3 champs in my game, I'm like, hey, we are 0-30. Doesn't matter. We stack. Get to late game. Just stop dying. We got stacks. We got the Nasus. I am
severely disappointed in you.
We got the Nasus sitting in the top lane, 0-0-0 at 40 minutes, but he's got 700 stacks. He just needs to stop playing the game instead of farming. As soon as that happens, a game changer. Boom, you're back in the game. From 0-30 to 50-30. You win. Stacks. Win games. Stacks, win games. There you go. That is my stat for today. Anyway, we'll quickly chuck this over to a break. We got Lyra sitting on that early win. And Hey, Litzy, let the T speak. He doesn't like my ideas, but still, right, guys, we'll be back very shortly with Game 2, Lyra versus Crater.
User entered your channel.
Alrighty, hey. What up, guys? It's game 2, baby! SRG Lyra versus Crater. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Lyra is looking pretty good right now. They managed to sweep Crater pretty hard. They ended up taking the game in about 23 minutes without losing a single tower. In fact, one of them only died twice. Both of those was Killcore on the Cassiopeia. So Crater, they're going to have to step it up a little bit if they're going to want to turn this series around.
Yes, most definitely. You know, kind of cut my little intro short there because I accidentally had the stream open. So it's like, oh, why am I hearing myself again? But anyway, my audio problems are fixed now. Still, I want to see what comp they're going to go with. We got the Pro Draft open, I think. Hold on, let me go find it.
Yeah, I'd be pretty happy to see one of those a little bit more interesting things come out from Lyra, like bringing a Gragas as a support was a overall very good play, worked very, very well for them. So I would like to see something, at least something, like that again. We're going to have to see. But, you know, that is how it is. We're going to be getting into the champ select before too long.
Okay, now like I said, hey, let's see if the team's listened. What do you think they're going to go with? Same comms? Gonna mix it up? Gonna go with Nasus if I got Draven? What do you think?
You know, as much as I would love to see a Nasus, Veigar, Draven, the hell of stacks, I doubt that is going to happen because of those. Nasus isn't really out of the meta. Is a fairly decent jungler right now with the buff to his Q, and with Dark Harvest being the way it is, and Veigar is okay.
It's Veigar, dude. Hey, you get late game, he's like 1,200 AP.
But that's the problem, is you have to get to late game, and all the games right now are ending at 25 to 30 minutes.
Killing the turret, farm, wait till 40. Anyway, picks and bans are starting right now. Lysandra banned from Lyra, same as last time. Eternal Me also from Crater. Following the same picks and bans as last time. Let's see what's going to change up here, if anything.
So, with Lyra getting rid of the Lysandra and Kennen, they're keeping there's the same bans as they did last time. I mean, the Kennen, that's more of a specific pick, as well as this Kled being taken away by Crater. So, these are mostly the same things. I'm a little bit surprised that Crater is going to be trying to get rid of the Urgot, since that worked, or rather, trying to get rid of the Silence, since that worked pretty well for Lyra. I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to, if we do see that get taken away. No, it looks like they're going to be sticking to their Lucian ban.
Yeah, true. I do agree with the Kled ban, though. I've seen Moella on this Kled, and let's say it's pretty good from my days in spectating them games. So I do agree with the Kled ban. You are right, though. You are right with that kind of stuff, though. Same bans, though, however. Lyra's first pick, let's see what they're going to go for here. They're going to actually get the Kai'Sa now. So Lyra is starting to edge towards the late game with this Kai'Sa pick. Let's see how it pans out.
I would be surprised if they pick up another early jungler like a Xin Zhao in order to be trying to bring that to fruition a little bit. It's a little bit interesting since I don't believe the reworked Morgana is available in this league. You know, both of the two reworked heroes.
Oh, wait. Sorry, this is a bit in here, but how big's Morgana's rework? Is it big? Because I completely forgot.
I think it's mostly the same.
Like, in my brain, Morgana's such a key character, and to think that Morgana ain't going to be playing in this split, it's like, oh, okay. Interesting. Anyway, so
are we getting an update on that?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, the only thing that was changed about her was visual, and that her ult gives her movement speed.
Oh.
So she's still available.
I like that.
That is a pretty good buff there. I mean, obviously,
definitely
is going to be pretty powerful, and she is okay in the split. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Lyra pick that up.
Okay.
They do have a Nunu and Willump, which is going to be pretty, or they're hovering it. They're thinking about it.
Yeah, they're
and Crater did pick up a Sivir and a Jarvan.
Okay, actually, Zac maybe. Yeah, I like the Zac more than the Nace. Nace. Hey, my brain's thinking about my comments, but still, Zac instead of the Nunu and Willump. Orianna also picked from Lyra. Crater looked for that third pick. They got the job in fourth too. But still, also just I know I'm touching back on this Morgana a bit, but just a little point that how do you think it's gonna go with Hourglass? Because usually people go Morgana Hourglass. Do you think this movement speed on her ult gonna be enough to make people think, do I really need Hourglass? What do you think? Because
nah, I don't think that would be enough. I think what that is going to do is going to make it so that Morgana doesn't have to burn flash in order to get into the middle of an enemy team. So normally with a Morgana, you ult, you flash, you Zhonya's, but I think now they'll be able to just reposition, and so her ult is going to be a little bit less situational.
You might have a Crater Alistar ban here. Let's see. They have picked Nami, so yeah, they're going to get that Alistar out. Quite a major CC to take out because they got this Zac. If they had Zac Alistar, hey, that CC, oh, plus the Orianna, that's actually a good ban with the Alistar there. Zilean banned out from Lyra too. Yeah, you know, they are respecting the power of Zilean here. Crater looking for the last ban. It's going to be Gragas. Yeah, yep, good. We saw how well that Gragas has managed to roam about. Pick up a lot of assists around the field. Last ban coming in from Lyra. And it's going to be Vladimir.
I'm a little bit surprised to see the Gragas, although Gragas did work very well for them. I don't know if Gragas would work as well with a Kai'Sa, but it is what it is. You just have to deal with that. And I do get the Alistar ban because, like I said, that is going to be a pretty good combo. I'm still a little bit surprised to not see a Morgana ban, because Morgana is sort of the support to put with a Kai'Sa. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lyra picks that up. For now, Maokai being picked by Crater. Now, this is going to be pretty interesting. It's probably going to be a Maokai in the top lane, since we do have a Nami. So we could be seeing a little bit of a tank battle depending on what gets picked. For now,
yeah,
it looks like Lyra's going to be
pick.
picking up Thresh.
Good pick going in on that Kai'Sa. What would you say, Thresh, Morg? What would you like more?
And with Kai'Sa, I would have liked to see a Morgana. Partially just because I do want to see all of those new visuals. But Thresh is still a very good pick. Those dark passages can really help people out when they're in a bind if used well and communicated properly. With Darius being picked up for Lyra in the top lane, that's going to be pretty interesting to see how Maokai is able to do that, because, you know, won't be able to do it very well. Maokai has to get up close to people if he wants to do much, and because, you know, Darius excels at people who gets up close to them and does pretty well against tanks with that bleed damage.
Yeah, definitely. Now Kratos sticking with this sort of revive camps, because they got this Anivia be picked up for their mid lane. So, good choice. Actually, is that a good choice? Anivia going into Orianna? I think that's actually okay, because it kind of negotiates Orianna's big ult thing, if you know what I mean, because she used all of her stuff.
It does a pretty good job of dealing with people, but there aren't very many squishy characters on the side of Crater. I would like to see a Anivia go up more against squishy characters who won't survive being on the wrong side of a wall, or that Blizzard can really deal with. As of now, the Blizzard is going to be more of a CSing tool, and this Anivia is going to have to rely more on stuns if they want to be able to pull this out properly.
Yes. So, I want to see a Slam Dunk Darius and a Maokai for skins. I know that's not too important, but it's my personal preference. Anyway, we're just going to go through this league client now. Roughly 5 minutes till game 2. So, also, just to touch back about our question from game 1. Early, late. Who has who?
So, I would say that Lyra is looking better inside of that late game. They have the Kai'Sa and the Zac, who both scale very well, and the Darius, if fed, absolutely can pop off. As you know, I think all of their characters just scale very well. I think the only person who had to be really careful had to be this Thresh. If you engage on top of the team in the late game as a Thresh, and your team isn't really ready to go in with you, could end up getting caught out pretty easily. Whereas Crater has a little bit of a better mid-game, since they have the Maokai who's able to root people, and they won't be able to survive it quite as well until they get their items. And I think that Zac is going to have a pretty rough time in this jungle against a Jarvan. Jarvan will be able to 1v1 Zac very easily until Crater is able to get some of these defensive items. Once you have the Spirit Visage or just some more tank items, you'll be able to deal with that, but until then is going to be pretty difficult.
No, I'm just trying to put myself in the mind of Crater right now. So, Jarvan, if I am correct, his ult's that trappy in the land thing, right? If I'm correct?
Yeah.
Right,
once
nice.
you want to jump in, once you do jump in on everybody, it knocks everyone up in that area. You can use the ult to pull people around. But the thing is, until you're really tanky, you have to be very careful, because you have to be in the middle of an enemy team to do what you need to do. And that is obviously a very risky thing to do until you get tanky. So at 30 minutes, you'll be able to do what he wants to do, but until then is going to have to be very careful and make sure that he really thinks about the engages that he does.
Okay, now in my mind, I'm processing a scenario where I think Jarvan leads the engage. He's gonna jump in there, pop his ult, trap a couple of people. Nami's bubble's gonna get launched in there, stun them again. Maokai is gonna pop his ult, root everyone again, and Anivia's gonna stun them once more, and they're gonna die. So I'm willing to see what Kratos got in the back for this. I'm hoping for a 1-1.
Yeah, Crater, they do have some good synergy here, and if they can use this Sivir to the full ability, Sivir's an incredible team fighter. It can really help activate a team, but they're going to have to step up their teamwork a little bit if they want to be able to do that.
Yeah, but still, touching on Lyra, Zach, it's very CC heavy. Now, is that... Okay. What ways does Crater have to disengage Zach right here? What would you do? Zach's about to jump in, pull 3 of you in that turret or whatever. What's the best way to counteract this?
Honestly, at this point, just kill the Zac. They don't have a whole lot of mobility on their side. The only one who really does would be Jarvan with the Flag and Drag is pretty much their only dash that they have available. So once Zac comes in, sure, you get knocked up, you take a little bit of damage. Just make sure you kill him afterwards, and you should be able to burst him down pretty quickly.
Okay, good. Now, we are allowed to look at the sum spells now as they are locked in. Anything catch your eye here? We got Orianna on this barrier, top lane TPs. It looks pretty standard, to be honest. What's your thoughts?
Pretty simple. Main thing to look at is Magic bringing the Ignite into the bot lane as well as Rasmussen. So going to be a pretty aggressive bot lane. And with Champion of Ash bringing the Teleport, pretty standard thing to bring as an Anivia. Gives you a little bit of extra mobility obviously around the map, but also being able to just get on top or get back to your lane and make sure that you don't miss out on CS should help Anivia in this early game where you may not do quite as well as the Orianna.
Okay, yeah. Now, items wise and like, okay, MB, but who has like, are these teams evenly balanced in attack and ability power? Would you say?
Yeah, both of these teams do have their ADCs and their APCs. I think the main thing is that Kai'Sa, you build a little bit of a hybrid, you build a little bit of AP and AD, and so because of that, I think that the AD AP thing is a little bit skewed on the side of Lyra. They're more on the AP side, but both teams have very balanced composition. They both have a tank, they both have a bruiser, they both have a mage, they have an ADC, and they have a support. The one difference is that Nami is more of a healing support, more of a mage support, whereas Thresh builds at least a little bit tanky in order to get on top of people and be able to survive that in time to put down the box, get some people using the Thresh to get people into the box or just moving them around a little bit and be able to survive in time for the team to get there.
Okay, now what I'm thinking, do you reckon we're going to see a level 1 engage in the jungle now that we got a Thresh?
It could happen, but I don't think that there is really enough otherwise on the team to really want to do it. If Champion of Ash starts with the wall, sees that people are invading and so switches and so picks the wall as the first side, as the first ability, and locks some people out of an area, could be devastating. And so they're really going to have to gauge the risk versus reward in this situation.
Okay, I'm going to keep my eye out. Let's see what Anivia is going to go for here. Still, spectate delay is now up. We should be roughly in game in 1 minute.
And then we'll also be able to see what the runes are.
True. So just Thresh, what? Because the only thing I'm thinking of is, since Silver Brain, I just like Hex Flash. Do you think Thresh will go Hex Flash?
Probably going to go Aftershock.
Oh. Yeah, you're right.
You're just right on top of the enemy. The hook will trigger it, and then you fly in. You have extra armor for doing it. Hex Flash, I think, really the only champion you can use Hex Flash on currently would have to be Alistar.
Oh, I thought the Blitz maybe too.
Blitz, yeah, but kind of the point of those heroes is able to hook people in, and so if you just position one in the first place, you don't really need Hex Flash. Also because Thresh has a delay on the hook. Blitzcrank has a little bit of a delay. True. It gives people enough time to be able to just maneuver around it. And at that point, getting a little bit of extra distance, getting one flash distance, is not always very justifiable.
Okay, good. Now, game it's like loaded in now, but it just got loaded in. So we should be seeing that in just a second. Now, let's see. Do we get this level 1? No pings yet. We'll see. They are on team comms though, so they might not have their IDs on the board just yet. Oh.
Looks like a plane split across the river.
Yep. Nothing too interesting. No. Oh, okay.
One nice thing is that Craner does have the pink chroma for Zac. Very fabulous. Love to see it.
Oh, I forgot to look at skins.
Yeah,
we got
crazy.
a Meowkai. Darius is not slam dunk. That means he's going to lose his lane. Anyway, still looking at the board. So far, yeah, you're right. No level 1 engages right now. Let's see if anything is actually going to happen. I don't think so. However, just a quick thing to point out. Ocean Drake will be the first to spawn in here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anything is really going to come out of this. Just a little bit of a dance party with these champions as they're getting ready for the match. You know, Killcore is just keeping an eye on Champion of Ash, who does have that. Is that the? Yeah, that's the new Papercraft and Nivea skin.
Hold
Very
on.
nice.
Oh, Champion of Ash tried to get this in on this Oriana. Meowkai was there to see if he could get a little play on that, but the stun doesn't hit, and Killcore reacts quickly to get out of that stun.
Yep. I mean, just keeping an eye on what is going on. Definitely a good job. You gotta keep your tab open. Oftentimes, people in lower ranks will tab out at early game because they think they won't get invaded, and then they do.
True. I see that a lot of my games, with them mostly being silver, and it's very annoying to see too. Anyway, lane's meeting up. Red bot did not have to leash here. Nami in that bush, however, has been spotted, so Thresh knows that she is there. Seems there's only some key plays going on right now, but it doesn't look so much as Zac. Do you think, so is Zac able to get an early gank? How does his stuff work? Because he gets most of his stuff.
Yeah, you don't farm incredibly well as Zac. You end up taking a lot of damage from the farm overall. You do have that nice AoE with the E. You can see it doing work against the Krugs. You know, able to take that pretty early. But once you get to Wolves and Gromp, you take quite a bit of damage.
Sorry for that reaction, but it looked like Killcore got quite a lot of damage on a Champion of Ash very early on. She is a very nice high burst champ. Now, looks like Jester is just going to swing by, see what's going on. He's going to continue to take his route. Meanwhile, Kreiner might get the Skull Crab. There's going to be a contention here as Jarvan and actually a whole squad's coming to back up. Kreiner's got to get out of here, and that allows Jester to get that Skull Crab. Some nice communication on to help him get that. And Kreiner is just going to have to back out and continue getting his normal jungle. Meanwhile, top lane, Styx just trying to get a little bit of poke onto Moella here. Those little kitty cats in the bush, ready to attack.
Yeah, Moeller, using that spin, is able to get quite a bit of health back, especially later in the game. And so is willing to take a little bit of poke damage because he knows he'll be able to heal it up fairly easily. That is one of the very, let's just go with powerful things on Darius that makes him a pretty good champion in 1v1 situations.
Okay, yeah. Plus, he's big in them team fights when he gets stacks. However, meanwhile, in the bot lane, it looks like Ver going low. I believe she got hooked by that Thresh. Kaiser's W also hit on that, so that's going to keep Falcon pretty low right now. However, hey, they got that pot. They're going to heal up, and no need for a back. Meanwhile, mid lane, Champion of Ash going down super low. Does have the TP up, though, so won't miss out too much CS. And it looks like Champion of Ash has went for that back. Zac's going to take top side scuttle. And, hey. Darius gets to pull in onto Meowkai. And there's just some basic top lane back and forth. Not too much there to happen.
One thing to note is that Strix has used up a lot of mana. And so is going to have to farm very carefully. And won't be able to trade as well as he wants to at this point. That means Moeller is starting to get the upper hand.
Yes, they're going bot lane here. Actually, Nami gets the flash, misses the bubble. Thresh gonna flay them away, not gonna be enough. Hook lands on no. Oh. Magic doesn't die, dude. Okay, he gets out of that. I thought he was dead.
A very good shield using the Dark Passage, able to stay alive.
Yes.
Jester wants to go in, but can't risk going under the tower at level 4. Overall, great plays from Magic. You know, dodging the bubbles straight on and getting that, you know, that flay in order to move people around a little bit, and then using the shield to survive the ignite instead of relying on a heal. Overall, very, very good plays.
Yeah, good to see. Now this Kai'Sa, do you think they might go for the dive here? I mean, could it be possible? Thresh, Thresh is going to get back in time. I don't think they're going to go for that. Jess is just going to quickly get a little bit of the farm there. Yeah, nothing too much going on there. Meanwhile,
the only thing that could initiate and engage at that point would be a bubble land from Rasmussen, but even then, I don't think that Falcon would be able to burst down Lodberg fast enough in order to really justify the tower shots that you would take from it. So, you know, knowing that, was able to just stay up fairly far and not miss out on any farm.
Now, not too much discrepancy within the CS. Darius, 41, 33. That's the biggest one we got there. Gold, roughly the same. Looks like Champion of Ash is pushing in mid lane quite heavily, letting that crash onto the tower. Top lane right now, we got a little bit of just backwards and forth, not too much there. So, can these top laners do any huge engages onto each other, or is it literally just going to be a little bit backwards and forwards, nothing burst-wise?
They absolutely can. It's, or rather, Molar can. Once, you know, now that he has that level 6, once he gets maybe another item, will be able to push up I mean, he does have the Phage, which should be enough. If Styx is just a little bit too rambunctious and tries to go in too far, then the amount of bleed damage to the stacks and a quick executing ultimate should secure that over from Muller. And so Styx has to be very careful.
Looks like Magic was chilling behind that wall for a little bit, trying to look for something. However, Nami was in that bush, not spotted, lands the bubble onto Thresh. Not going to do much. Zac is maybe coming over. Yes, he is. Hey, you were right. Moella does have that burst. Managed to get the kill on Maokai. And not too much actually going down. This Champion Rat has this lane pushed in, but Jester is here. They're just going to wait. Yeah, I think actually, no. What do you think is going to happen here? Jester wait?
Jester is going to go back and get the farm unless Champion Ash gets done.
Hey, hold up. Kilcar gets a little too far forward in that lane. However, wall pops up from Anivia, and that separates Kilcar from her.
I mean, a flash is a pretty good thing to get out of that. And so is going to give them a little bit of an advantage now inside of the middle lane, since now Kilcore does not have an escape, and so has to be a little bit more careful from this point on.
Okay, right now Cryin is in the jungle right now, getting a bit of damage onto the Zac. Magic got there in time with the Q on against Jester. Jester going real low. They will be able to get this kill. Kai'Sa just missing a W, but it doesn't matter. Thresh trying to get another hook into there, but there won't be a continued play for now. They do get the blue buff from their jungle. Spurn Nami going back to the lane just to CS up, and it looks like they're going to start this Ocean Drake now. However, Anivia, it's fine about. Gets this stun onto Thresh. Hey, gets Thresh off the map. It's a good play, but can she get out? Okay, yeah, Champion Rash gets out of there. It's all good.
Having the flash up was able to get out of that. The Ocean Drake is going to turn over, but it looks like they're not quite done. They still want to engage on this, and Lyra is being very careful,
Zach's
but now it looks like they want to turn around.
Yeah. I think it's going to favor red, though. Blue needs to get out. They can't really do too much. Jester's managed to get here now. Could be a turnaround. Jester goes over the wall. Managed to pop that all on his Zac. Zac managed to jump away, though. And did touch on that before. However, Zac can get out of that.
Very good use of the blast cone there, sticking close to it, and then once the Cataclysm was burned, was able to use it to get out.
Well, it looks like Magic got a little bit too forward there. Jester... yeah, they're just going to have to back out. Go back to the lanes, get the farm up. Jester's going back to his jungle. Mid lane, on the other hand, Champion of Ash is pretty low while Kilcore pushes in this lane. I think Kilcore can actually get the kill on Champion of Ash if Champion of Ash gets a little too pushed up here because Killcore does have that burst. Top lane, Moella pushing it on the sticks. Just missing the Q there.
The shockwave is going to be coming online in just a few seconds, and recognizing that Champion of Ash was going to back, but has decided to stay, and so has to be very careful.
Yeah, definitely. Very low. Killcore moving that little ball, but it's not going to be enough.
Doesn't quite land the command shockwave, and so is going to miss out on a possible kill there.
Okay, over into the bot lane. Lodberg Magic pushing this turret. Managed to get the first plating, equaling what Kratos managed to do before. Top lane, Moella. Stel's sort of pushing this lane. So, where actually he gets a pull in onto Maokai, but not going to be too much, does not land any more damage. So, what I wanted to quickly ask is, which side should both teams be playing right now? What side, top side, or mid?
At this point, what you want to do is try and trigger a team fight and try to take mid.
Oh, actually, Anivia going to get a lot of damage. Gets the wall on the Magic. Magic won't be able to get out, however. Magic uses line to get the Zac over. Zac's just going to charge, and he does not want that line. He just charges in using his own thingy, catches the ball, pushes them back into Thresh's ult again. Might revive. Did you revive there? But anyway, either way, dead. Orianna got the kill.
If Killcore hadn't shown up, might have been able to revive in time, but would have been killed directly afterwards, especially because the leap was coming back online.
Okay, now Kreina's going to start warding out, getting prepared for another gang in the bush. However, Falcon Nami is going to ward back, going to see the Zac. They're just trying to get a little bit of damage with her little pizza.
And a pretty decent bubble from Rasmussen is going to be trying to stall out Craner a little bit from getting that ward, but it isn't going to be enough. Overall, this is definitely looking in the side of Lyra yet again. They're sitting on a 3k gold lead with 3 kills to 1.
That's right. However, I still have very high hopes for Kratos because, like I mentioned during Champion Select, when they come together, they can do a whole lot. I'm just waiting to see that.
Once the team fighting phase starts, and if they can manage to work together and communicate what they are doing properly, then they could do very well. But I'm not seeing that level of communication from them quite yet.
Yeah, definitely. So you got Anivia with the only kill right now. Who do you want big? Do you want the Severe big? I reckon so, but yeah. Anyway, DM, hold that question. Killcore, gonna flash out. Waste flash to try and get out of that, but good flash used, otherwise dead. However, Zac in this bot lane looking for something. Thresh gonna miss the hook. Yeah, they're gonna try and play this safe. Zac moves up into the other bush pretty close. Hey, MB. Anyway, mid lane, Orianna takes out Anivia. Right now there's a fight going on against Killcore. Jess is gonna try and pick up this kill on Orianna. Orianna's got too much damage. A double kill Orianna, 3-0. 750 gold bounty now, so they're going to want to focus in mid now. Actually, Styx, Moella, battle happening now in the top lane. While using the Q, actually, Styx managed to negate that damage and use the flash to get out. Meanwhile, bot lane, Zac's engaged. TP coming in from Maokai to get in this bot lane. Severe real low on fire. And Kai'Sa gets up that kill. And Maokai did pop the ult, but I don't think it rooted anyone.
That was a little bit of questionable. Ended up being set up towards the tri-bush, and a good dark passage was used to make sure that Lodberg didn't get caught by it.
Okay, meanwhile, Moella's hitting that top turret, and it looks like Maokai tried for the engage, and it's getting Magic really low. However, Magic gets the shield from the W, and just get taken down by Jarvan. They are not going to continue that. Crying a Lodberg. Get out. Thresh goes down, however, for the cost of Maokai's life. Mid lane waiting for the CS to arrive. And top lane, Moella also just constantly damaging this turret. Doing some good progress there while Styx is dead.
Yeah, I mean, that was overall pretty good for... it was just kind of even. I think that getting a kill onto your ADC is worth having your support die for it in most cases. And now that Lodberg is sitting on 2 kills, we'll be able to start getting the items that they want. And now has the BF sword and the Berserker's Greaves, and so we'll be able to start doing the damage that Kai'Sa is capable of doing.
Yeah, this Kai'Sa's starting to get online. Meanwhile, some fights are breaking out over this Ocean Drake. Thresh continue to go in on that. Gets Nami with the hook. Nami goes down, and he's just deleted.
Magic has been on point with these hooks so far.
Definitely. Making some good hook plays all around. Getting 4 assists, 1 kill. Ocean Drake starting now going low and going to be in favor of Lyra as they pick that up, making them with 2 Ocean Drakes, the next one being a Infernal.
So that is definitely pretty good for them. And what is pretty interesting is you did want the Hex Flash, and Thresh did end up taking it, which,
Hold on, Jester's spotted out this Zac, uses the Blast Cone to bounces Zac towards him. However, Zac bubbles him back into Kill Core with the damage, executing out the Jarvan. Nami ult coming in to knock up. However, Anivius will not be able to make a play onto that. Bot lane now. Stel pushed in blue side. Thresh just tried to land a hook with the CS in the way for him not to be able to hit that. Darius just warding out the jungle a little bit here just to make sure, because he is pushed up in this lane, so he's going to need this vision to make sure he doesn't get caught out. Engaging on the Sticks, gets the pull in, Sticks running back to his turret.
And right now we're seeing Muller be able to just really punish Strix so hard, being able to clear out waves so quickly, be able to get good CS while doing it, and then just constantly having the tower get pushed up. It's keeping Sticks inside of the lane at all times. As soon as he leaves, as he has now, has to give up a lot of tower health in order to do it.
Meanwhile, bot lane will be able to pick up this turret fairly easy. Kai'Sa's not going to get back into lane too fast. Now, this is quite helpful, however, Thresh might get engaged on here, because if we go to mid, Thresh did manage to take that turret out, but will it cost him his life? Who knows? He gets the flay on a Jarvan, stopping that, gets the ult, it's going to slow them down. He should be able to get out of here, because, actually, DM, they got the whole squad coming on this Thresh now. They got the Severe and Nami also join into this fight. Will Magic get out of this? Probably not, and he goes down.
That was definitely a lot of resources to kill a support, but with how well Magic has been doing, I can't entirely blame him. They have a little bit of a grudge to settle.
Orianna's damage nearly had enough to take out Rasmussen. And Champion managed to actually hold on. She's doing so much damage right now. Darius is going to come in to sweep that up, get the pick onto Anivia. And Rasmussen can't really do much to answer that back. Jarvan just going to take his little red buff there. Kai'Sa did pick up that bot lane turret too, just answer back from before. Now their mid turret might be under attack. They could nearly. This Darius is kind of like starting to look around the map. However, nothing will come off that. And right now, we're just seeing some basic pushing coming from Lyra.
And using the Haunting Guise and the Luden's Echo, bringing the total AP for this Orianna up to 191 is definitely doing a lot of work here. You saw how much damage Kilgore was able to do.
Definitely a lot of damage, but how often can she do that damage? Because as soon as that's done, however, meanwhile, Falcon gonna get engaged upon, just get picked off. So they're down, and right now we need I know they need farm. However, we gotta play just a little more back right now. Magic trying to get the little hook onto Jarvan getting out, using his little pillar thing. However, kill core damage, like mentioned, is gonna take out that Nami. They're gonna continue to push up mid lane, trying to get some damage on the Sticks. Back engaging, bubbling out the Anivia. Anivia goes down. Kai's ult does pop, manages to root nearly the whole team. However, nothing will be able to come at that. Kai'Sa's also pushing in onto this bot lane. It's not good along the creator. Bear's back. Anivia's back in 20. Hey, they can still win. I'll keep saying that, because look, right now they're trying to get this pick on Ludberg. However, it's not doing too much. They don't have the burst damage compared to Killcore, because Killcore can just pick these members up. However, if Kratos wants to get a kill, they're going to really have to try and work for it and hope that Lyra just kind of misplay right now. Looks like Magic's hook's currently offline, however, they might not be able to do much with it unless Nami is trying to... Oh, no, DM. I was hoping she might have tried to go for that little bubble play. Flash in. But still, we have Lodberg on the backup right now. A little bit of damage onto Rasmussen. Meanwhile, top lane, we got Moella in the backside. Jester just going to have to back up there. Now, we might have multiple action break now because bot side is currently pushing and also top and about to conflict for these turrets.
Yeah, I mean, right now, part of what's saving Crater is having the great wave clear from Champion of Ash and that Blizzard, but it isn't enough to win in this game so far. With Baron now being up, I wouldn't be surprised for Lyra to just win one little fight and then just go and take it.
Now, they do need to start a setup for this Baron, because if they get it, it could get them back into this game. However, Jarvan's going to have to use his flash to get out of that because he doesn't have the range to get onto his little pole. And looks like Sever is not in a good position right now whatsoever. However, just have that spell shield to stop any more CC. Just flash out of the Zac grab thing. Sorry for not being able to use the right names, but I think you get what I'm trying to explain. However, here we go. There we go. Look, Kratos finally starting to get a couple of picks. It's only the Thresh, but it's a start.
So far, a very good play from the side of Crater, being able to even that up a little bit at least, being able to take out Magic, but it certainly is not enough to turn this game around. They're sitting on 14 kills to 4 and on a over 10k gold deficit. And with the Infernal Drake going down, that is going to be even more damage for the side of Lyra. That's going to make this look a little bit less likely for Crater to be able to pull this out, you know, minute by minute. Lyra is definitely looking very strong here.
Yeah, definitely. Now, just to rewind, you're 14-4, a 10k gold differential. Now, I think these stacks would be looking really nice if you could get them, but fortunately, we don't have any stacks on this side of Crater. Right now, I would have liked to see.
Stacks are killing the game. TBH. Anyway, right now Lyra is looking at this Baron. They're clearing out vision, and that is going to be forcing Crater to come and answer this in some way. And I think that if Crater engages on a team fight, they're just going to lose. And so they're really in between a rock and a hard place at this point. The Baron is going to be starting now.
Yeah, and Crater just have the potential to steal. Oh my god, okay, damn it. You got that Orianna. However, Falcon might be able to get the steal. Thresh has used his hook, so that is down. Jarvan going in! I was getting hyped. I was waiting for that steal. However, Jarvan's going to get out into the pit. Also, Anivia, no! TP'd in there. Looks like Zac also pulls it back over into the Baron pit. Going to go down. Darius getting that kill. 17-4. 13k gold difference, and they get the Baron. It's not over yet. That's what I'm saying.
It isn't over. We have at least 2 more minutes in the game. While now Lyra is wanting to push up through, get up to these towers, and there won't really be much contention, especially because the big wave clear is gone. Champion of Ash is down for another 10 seconds, and now it's time for another engage.
Yeah, I think they should have let this inhibitor go away for the team to respawn. Go back. Don't get picked.
And Lyra wants to get on top, though. Now that they have this inhibitor down, they just want to push all the way through and get these big Baron buff minions under the tower. But Champion of Ash is back up, and they're able to wave clear pretty well now.
Oh, the kill card gets that damage. Right now, how does the items look? Does it look like they're responding to this kill call with the items? How's Magic Resist looking? Because right now, they need it.
I mean, they definitely don't have enough. I mean, really, what we have is we have Righteous Glory, and that's one of the only tank items besides Spectre's Cal.
The hold on fight's breaking out right now. Orion is getting all that damage dealt onto Team Red, and doesn't it looks like this might be over soon. Still winnable. Let's put it that way.
Like, technically the lottery is winnable, but exactly. At this point it is not looking good. Falcon does go down. And that is going to be an actual kill. Does not have the passive up.
They got 3 out of the 6 balls. They're just looking for the other 3. Let's see.
And that is a great hook.
But no, he took the hook. That means he's going to get taken down by Anivia. Actually, no, in case he can see Anivia. Damn it.
Sacrifice.
Yeah. So, hey, sacrifices must be made to win the lottery. And right now, Crater, they managed to get the kill. So how much bounty they get up at? They got a 1k bounty, baby, going into Maokai. So, hey, Winnable. They are starting to win. Let's see.
They're starting to contest a little bit. I think that Muller will be able, or rather Six will be able to get a little bit of good use out of that gold. We'll be able to complete a tank item, and we'll have the Thorn Mail now pretty soon. Currently does have the Bramble Vest, but there is still 2 Baron buffs on the side of Lyra, and if they can use what they have left on this, well, they may be able to take out another inhibitor. And with only 1 inhibitor left, that would be pretty devastating for the side of Crater.
Yeah, I believe they've got roughly 20 seconds left on this Baron buff, just adding a bit of extra time. Meanwhile, these inhibitors, roughly 3 minutes until they come back up. Killcall looking for a pick here, scouting out the jungle. Jarvan, she just saw Jarvan, but Jarvan got out of there in time. Good stuff from him. Right now, another Ocean Drake will be coming up in 25 seconds. And they're just going to be pushing up this bot lane with the only inhibitor being in bot. So they are playing this to the buck right now. They got that Baron. They are pushing up bot to get the only last inhibitor left. Zac is going to be start channeling soon, trying to hop in there, and let's see if he lands on anyone. He's going to land on the... okay, he misses actually. However, Red Tide is getting their team there. It looks like Maokai pops the ult. It's going to get the root. He gets the root on... okay, here's the engage. Zac's going in. Jarvan trying to hit onto that Kai'Sa, however, not going to be able to do enough. Looks like Maokai has to flash out of there. A lot of CC going down onto Red Side. Thresh flash hooks onto Maokai. Maokai going down. Looks like now he's going to get picked off too. Sever, run! Run!
It's like that old meme from like, what, 2016? Good times. Good times. With this last inhibitor turret standing, or rather not last inhibitor turret, last Nexus turret standing, that is going to be the GG, and Lyra is going to take...
It's so winnable. Lyra could all DC right now. Net could go offline.
There's nobody who's going to respawn in time
Net's going
for
offline.
This.
Okay, no. DM. Oh.
Yeah. Timers. Nobody was coming back in time to save that. And so that is going to be...
But yeah, still. 2-0 Lyra. They get the win there. Good stuff. Not too great. I was really hoping for these comebacks. I don't know why, but I gotta root for something, haven't I?
That was almost a almost a 20k gold lead at the end of that for Lyra, 25-7. This is definitely a very, very impressive stand from Lyra, and it goes to show that they are definitely one of the better teams inside of Division 2, and they're going to be making a contention for Division 1 before too long.
Definitely. So how was that game played by both? I believe Creator did start to get some picks near the end. I believe they did slightly better than last game. Do you agree?
I'd say they did do a little bit better. I mean, obviously, because they managed to get more than 2 kills. That is part of it. But let's look at some of these completed items for a little bit here. Styx, sitting on a Bramble Vest and a Spectre's Cowl, wasn't able to complete an item with any of that. I obviously, picked up the Bramble Vest to try to stay alive against Darius a little bit better, but was not enough. Jester was only able to get an Adaptive Helm, a Ninja Tabi, and Enchantment Cinderhulk. I think that overall, they just weren't able to get enough gold in order to complete any of their items. And because of that, it just snowballed. So I think that this game actually ended a fair bit of time before the actual end of the game. I think that eventually it just became so difficult to play against Lyra that in order for Creator to turn around, what they would have had to do was get some really big pick and then make a very risky play for a big turnout. And they just weren't ever really willing to engage as a team on top of people. And I think that was one of the reasons they got snowballed as hard as they did, was because at some point you have to realize if you don't take any risks, there's no way you're going to win it. And I don't think that Creator was ever really willing to do that.
Yeah, we've seen Killcall manage to pick off a lot of Creator's memories during that meaning that they just couldn't play as a team, as they were pretty much always a member down when something went off, because Killcall just gets the pick and basically it's always 5v4s right now. We didn't really see a proper 5v5 till near the end. Meanwhile, right now we do have the straw polls being sent out. This is a vote for MVPs. Right now, Crainer with 2 votes taking lead for Lyra. Over on Crater, it's currently even split between Champion of Ash and SRG Falcon.
Yep, my player of the game overall would definitely have to be Magic, who I think did a great job. I'm playing Gragas as a support, did very good. We saw some really great Gragas ultimates, putting the ADC of Crater in a very difficult position. And I think that on the Thresh, landed so many amazing hooks, was able to do just so much. I think that Crater, they had a pretty rough time. Falcon wasn't ever really able to pop off, and Styx had a very rough top lane, although I think that Styx had all of the tools needed to win the top lane in the first game. In the second game was definitely down on the hero matchup. It's very difficult to play against a Darius with anybody, and especially a tank with no sort of escape. So it's very difficult for me to want to decide who gets it on Crater. I think it's going to have to be Jester, who did a fairly good job of controlling the jungle and at least tried to fight the Zac early on in the second game, but it was only because the rest of Lyra showed up that Zac was able to survive that.
Yeah, I remember seeing Jester managed to try and get that Zac early on, like you mentioned. However, they did have their whole team to back them up, whereas for Jester, they didn't always have their whole team there. So yeah, I don't believe there is too many points to bring up. We got 2-0, Lyra taking the win there. That if we pull up the points, if possible, yeah, we are ready for the points. Now I gotta wait up the stream because it's the only way we can see them, so we'll have to be 3-second delayed. However, they've just popped up for me. It looks like Lyra with 24 points, 2 points before Tyne Esports. Yeah, Creator staying 5th right there. And it looks like the division is now locked.
So there we go. Lyra securing their spot inside of the top of Division 2. So they'll be able to keep that. And now they're going to be focusing on making sure that they can get that or get into Division 1. The only match left inside of Division 1 is Hellsinger versus Pegasus. And, obviously Pegasus and Hellsinger both at the bottom, so they're not going to be contending for the top spot after that game. And that pretty much wraps things up for today.
Yeah, definitely. I'll just quickly go over some of the main key points that I usually hear the other casters talk about. So, for example, we got the general sellout portion of the stream where you can hit up Facebook, Discord, the Serenity Gaming website, which is...
And our Twitter as well. And it's
Twitter, serenitygaming.org, from the top of my head. So yeah, we have a lot of places to connect with you guys, plus Gamers Class for our sponsor, given a couple of presents, little gifts to the winners of our Division 1 and Division 2 get stuff? Let's see.
So yeah, Gamers Class, if you do want to just learn how to play the game a little bit better, you're able to get lessons from some very good top 500 or challenger and whatnot players, and learn how to actually play the game that we're seeing here. And if you do want to get connected on the Discord, you can talk to the rest of us, or even talk to some of the players and coaches and whatnot, and maybe even play some games with them. Just hit up the Discord. Just look right below the stream in the various banners down there, and we're going to have to see you all next time.
Okay, yeah, guys. See you guys. I also need